Hi, I'm Tammy Beilstein. Welcome to Tammy's Window on Calaveras. I'm here tonight with Bev Eckland, and she is from the Master Gardeners program, and she was just telling me about all sorts of neat things that they have going on, some activities, all sorts of programs that you guys do, and she's going to tell you about this tonight. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, in just a couple of minutes that we had to talk while we were getting mic'd up here, you guys are so busy. Is this a full-time job for you, the Master Gardener?
Well, sometimes it feels that way, but basically we're all volunteers.
All of you are?
All of us, except we do have a Master Gardener coordinator.
Okay.
Her name is Debbie Powell, and we are under the umbrella of UC, Cooperative Extension. And when we do events and what have you, we often, team up with other agencies, and some of those agencies have, people that are employed. But for the most part, the garden is run and operated and maintained by volunteers.
That's awesome. How many of you are there for just the Calaveras one?
Yeah, this is the Calaveras one, and I would say we have about 50 to 60 members. We have meeting once a month. And then in the garden, we have open garden days on the fourth Saturday of every month, with the exception of December and January when the garden is resting.
Oh, resting. That's sweet. And, we probably should back up a bit just in case there's anybody out there who doesn't know what this garden is or where it is. So this is in San Andreas, sort of by the courthouse, right by that red barn.
Right, it's right on Mountain Ranch Road at the Government Center. The red barn is adjacent to us, and we're quite close to the hospital, so we're pretty easy to find.
Yeah.
One disadvantage, it surprises me sometimes that people don't know about the garden, and I think it's because as they're driving up Mountain Ranch Road, they have to pay attention to the road.
Yes,
and
it is kind of a curve there.
It's kind of a curve there. It is a huge garden. It's a very big garden, and it's many gardens within the garden. We have a learning center there that's just packed full of all kinds of information for gardening. We have the children's garden, of which I'm in charge of. We have a flower garden. We have an herb garden. We have a water-wise garden, a mission garden.
This is all in the same
It's all in that same area. These are like mini gardens. You should come.
I drive by and I do take a look over there when I drive by, but I guess I never really stopped to look at each. So each block is a different kind of garden? Is that how that works?
Yeah, the sections within the garden we have an orchard, and we have a lawn substitute area. There's many things to see.
Lawn substitute
in the garden.
area.
That's really important right now.
I bet.
What with the drought and everything, a lot of people are wanting to know how to substitute a lawn, which takes a lot of water, for something else that's still attractive but won't make your well grow dry.
Yeah, I mean, because seriously, my husband and I probably need something like that. If we were to go by, is there someone there that we could stop and ask, or is it just certain times on certain days?
It's just certain times. Unfortunately, we're not open as much as we would like to be, but it takes volunteers, as I said. And so it's the fourth Saturday of every month. The garden
it's open to the public.
It's open to the public.
Okay.
And the garden itself is open from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And then many months, not this month and not August. It's so hot, and a lot of people aren't planting right now.
Yeah.
And especially because of water.
Yeah.
But in the other months, from 10 to 12, we have plant sales. We propagate a lot of our own plants, and it's fun to come because our prices are quite good, and also There's a lot of things there that you might not find at Lowe's
Yeah.
or Walmart or some of the
Yeah.
big box stores.
Well, and what would
because
be neat is if you buy a plant from there, that you guys would be there selling it. So if I had a question,
Oh,
I could
sure.
ask a pro.
Sure. We have we encourage questions, and there's people there to answer your questions that day. We also, like I say, the Learning Center is a wealth of information. So if we don't know the answer, we can go to our periodicals, pest notes, all those things that
Oh,
are
neat.
available. We also, though, do offer to the public what's called the help desk, and they can either call in or they can actually visit the help desk on Wednesday mornings. That's in the UC office, and there are master gardeners there on Wednesday
Okay.
mornings to answer questions. But if you just have a question and you send it in, call it in, or email it in, they check those every week, and then they will try and find, you know,
That
the
sounds
answer
good.
for you. So,
I'm not kidding about the whole lawn thing. Ours look horrible right now
well,
with
it's
the lawn, and
hard
you guys
to get
would
a
be the
lawn to
people
grow
call.
without water.
I know, so that the alternative is probably something we're going to want to look at, and maybe something that animals don't like to poop on. Do you have,
Well,
do you have one of those?
I haven't found that yet. But one of the things that we do have at the garden, and we have a section of it in the children's garden, because it's tough and it doesn't take a lot of water. And if you like the prairie look, it doesn't need to be mowed, and that's called buffalo grass. There's a lot of different kind of grasses now that have come out that don't take the water that the regular Kentucky blue or
Is it one of those
would
long
take.
flowing grasses? Is that what that is?
Well, buffalo grass is about this high.
Yeah.
But there are many now. There's one that's been developed by the UC. They've got more than one, but a friend of mine put it in, and I believe it's called UC Verde. And she actually mows it, and it looks like the kind of grass you're thinking of.
Okay.
The one in the children's garden looks more like a prairie grass, but I'd say about 6 inches tall.
Okay. And you
It's
can walk
not-
on it, it's soft.
It's
and,
very tough.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very tough.
God,
Yeah.
that is so important right now as you drive around the entire county, really. Everyone's doing their part to save the water. I mean, it seems like the flowering plants are not flowering as much as they should. The grasses are all kind of that yellowish color. It's not nice. It's not
Well,
cool.
everything
But-
likes a drink, and
Yeah.
especially when we have this hot weather like we've been having.
So the stuff you guys do is really important, and things that the rest of us don't really know about. I'd never thought about it much
Yeah.
until the drought came along, and then we realized how much water we do use,
Well,
and
and
all the things that do need more
And
water
in
than we
addition
want.
to the grass, we also have a lot of people saying, you know, well, we still want to raise our own vegetables.
Yeah.
We still want our veggie garden.
Yeah.
And so we have done some things in our veggie garden to demonstrate how you can use mulch, you can use drip watering. There's many things that you can do and still have your vegetables and what have you, or your flowers,
Yeah.
and do so without, you know, wasting water.
That's good to know.
Right.
Now, the vegetables you grow, do you sell those also, or you guys just take them home when they're
No,
they're in?
actually, the vegetables that we raise, and we raise quite a number of them, we donate it to the senior center, which is right across the street.
Oh, that is so nice.
Right.
That's a really good idea.
Helps
I
them
love
out
that.
because everybody's on a budget.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
they love getting all the fresh veggies.
stuff
And the
right out of the
cooks over
garden.
there are really good at
They are.
using them. Yeah.
Yeah, those cooks are good.
Yeah.
And the prices are good. They're
Exactly. Yeah. Good place to
big
go
plug for the
lunch.
senior center. Yeah. But that's such a neat thing to do. I like
Sure,
that.
yeah.
I like that. Okay, so you do the children's garden. What makes your garden different from the others? Besides that neat grass you were telling me about, what other things make yours different?
Well, when we created the children's garden, we wanted it to be a place where we could show samples and give ideas to parents and grandparents, things that they might do in their own gardens to really make gardening fun for kids. If it's not fun, they're not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
You don't want them to have a bad experience from the get-go.
Right. You don't have to feel like a chore.
Right.
Yeah.
And so one thing that we did, you know, a lot of raised beds are 3 by 8 or 4 by 8, and
Yeah.
some are even bigger if you're using raised beds. But what we did is we created 4 small beds. They're about 2 feet square.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how much you can grow in that amount of space, but it's so much easier to maintain. There's not all those weeds to pull.
Yeah, and because
here
it's shorter, the kids can lean over and grab their
shorter.
own. Good.
That's one thing that's in the children's garden. We have a zoo garden in there, and it's all these plants that have common animal names. Like we have a shrub called lion's tail, and it's in bloom right now, and it's really a fascinating one because it has these little orange plumy things that grow on it that look like the end of a lion's tail.
That's darling.
Yeah, they like that.
What a cute idea.
We have a teepee. And on the teepee, sometimes we'll plant gourds, but recently I've put hops on the teepee. And the reason being, it is a perennial, so it doesn't die every year and has to be replaced. And it's also very, very fast to grow. It completely dies back in the winter, but then come springtime, it starts shooting up, and it shoots up so rapidly that if you were to bring a child on a Saturday and they would maybe measure it against themselves or, you know, good math skills. There's lots of good math skills that you can do in the garden.
Oh gosh, I need to go there then.
Yeah.
I need to work on my math skills.
They're amazed at how quickly this grows.
Yeah?
So
That's
it really
really fun.
shoots up. So that's fun. And then
Same with sunflowers. They
sunflowers,
grow so
we always
fast.
have
That's fun.
sunflowers because they're a very happy flower.
Now, I was thinking something about that teepee plant that grows fast. You're saying it dies back every year.
It does.
Are you supposed to cut those sorts of plants back when they die back, or do you leave it in the? I'm doing a teepee shape. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Or do you leave them growing on the teepee and they grow from where they were before?
No, it looks pretty ugly because it loses all its leaves and the vines dry up, and
So you just cut around the ground?
You'll pretty much clear off the dead vines, and it will just be bare ground. It will look like there's nothing growing there, and then all of a sudden in the springtime, these little cute little green things start growing, and it shoots up the teepee.
That's so neat.
It is.
And the stuff you grow is for our area, so it's not something fancy that people will have a hard time doing in their own yard.
And this is one of the things that we do propagate and have for sale at our plant sale.
Really?
There's a lot of ways to propagate plants, and we know them because we all like free plants. And so whether it be that we plant from seed, or whether we do cuttings, or whether the plant has runners, we can, you know, do our own propagating, and that's one of the reasons why we can sell the plants so
That is so neat.
so inexpensively too.
Now, what about these school gardens? My kids used to go to Jenny Lind Elementary, and they had a really nice garden area there. I haven't been there in a while. I hope they still have it. But they loved going over there and planting and watching them grow and then picking them and taking them back to the classroom. There's nothing better than a tomato right off the plant. But do you guys work with the schools for their separate gardens, or do the schools have their own gardeners? Do they call you for advice?
In a lot of cases, the schools do have a master gardener that's helping to either design it or work with the kids. And the school garden push right now is really, really popular. And Calaveras County is a county that has almost a school garden in every school. Jenny Lynn was quiet for a while, and now they've revved up that garden.
Oh, good.
And there is a master gardener that helps to, you know, give them ideas and sometimes even go there and work with the kids. Valley Springs has an immense community garden, school community garden. Odile Morrison, who is our Master Gardener president, she started a little school garden around the campus, and that was so popular. And Kevin Hesser is a teacher at Toyon, and he started gardening with the kids up there. So the two of them, who are both very busy people, got together and decided that they would ask the school district if they could use this vacant land behind the school for a school community garden. And if you ever have a chance, you should go by that garden because it's just immense. And the produce.
This is behind the Valley Springs Elementary?
It's behind Valley Springs Elementary. Toyon has quite a garden. Jenny Lynn's has just been revved up again. We have master gardeners that work at Michelson School over in Murphy's. There's quite a school garden at West Point School. They even have chickens.
Oh, darling.
There's a garden at Railroad Flat. There's a new garden that was just put in this year, and Master Gardeners also sometimes helps with funding. And then, of course, you know, when we have extra veggie plants and things like that, we donate them to the schools.
Oh, so nice.
I'm trying to think if I missed any of the schools.
So you were saying you help with funding. Do you guys do fundraisers, or is this just money that you earn from selling the cuttings?
Our fundraisers are pretty much the plant sales.
Okay.
And then we use that money to maintain the garden. But we've been fortunate recently, in the last few years, we have a wonderful person in charge of our plant sales. Her name is Dolores Ransom. She works and works and works and does a fantastic job, and we've raised enough money that we could not only maintain the garden, but we could support some of these other school gardens.
Oh, that's
or,
awesome.
You know.
Thank goodness for people like her, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, they make all the difference.
Oh yeah,
keeping
for
these
sure.
programs
And
going
it's
or
all
not.
volunteer. She just
That's
donates
incredible.
hours and hours. So,
That's
you know.
incredible. Now, what if some regular person like me needed help finding the right spot in my own yard to put a garden? Like when we first moved into our house, I thought it'd be really super cute to have one on the side of our house, between our house and the fence. And my husband was saying it's not going to get enough sun, and so that's not a good spot. But if he wasn't there, I probably would have put it there, and it would have just, you know, sucked. It would have been awful. So could I bring like my plan to somebody who might be able to give me an idea, or would any gardener ever be willing to come out to a person's house? Can we pay some sort of fee or something to have that
We don't charge a fee, but our main mission as master gardeners is to educate.
Okay.
That is our main mission. And we do that through the demonstration garden, through the help desk.
Yeah.
But when you come to Open Garden Day, you could bring a plan, or you could just come and talk. And then also, sometimes, if there's a volunteer that's willing and able and maybe lives not too far from you, we will do home visits. And
that's
we
great.
could, you know, tell you things like, well, you know, you might be better off, you know, putting it over here. It depends upon what you want to plant, you know, if you want a shade garden, which side, things like that.
That is so good to know.
Sure.
You know what else? That space on the side of our house is where the septic tank is. My husband didn't want to eat anything that grew there.
Well, one of the things about septic tanks that
Yeah.
some people, you know, want to be aware of and need to be aware of is you probably don't want to plant anything where the roots,
Right.
you know, little plants, that's okay, but
Yeah.
to put a big tree or something there where the roots are going to cause a problem
Not a good
might
idea.
not be a good idea.
Not a good idea. No.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that the guys pay attention to and know about.
But it's so important to know.
It is.
It can make all the difference years down the road when you get a bill for $20,000 because your septic is all screwed up.
You're right.
You'll wish that you would have taken 5 minutes and called somebody who is a pro and a
Sure.
volunteer on top of
Yeah.
it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at this flyer that
Okay.
you have here.
Ah.
Are these all over town? If I hold it up, are people going to recognize these?
They will be all over town. And also, one of the best ways that we advertise these events is it will be going into the packets that the kids take home from school.
Oh,
Many
good
of the school
idea.
have Tuesday packets.
Yeah.
And so we will print up enough of those that they will go in the school packets, and also to places like Head Start and the library, you know, anywhere, you know, where we think that we can
Reach
get
the
the word
kids,
out
yeah.
to not just the kids, but the
families.
families and grandparents. We have a lot of
Yes.
grandparents. It's a nice thing. They bring the grandkids, you know, it's
What
a
neat
nice day
thing.
for the whole
So-
family.
So this is called Family Harvest Day in the Garden.
Correct.
This will be in San Andreas at the main garden there.
At the big demonstration garden.
Okay.
Correct.
And this is free?
This is free.
And you have all these different things going on?
We have many activities. This event is stemming from when we first opened the children's garden. We decided we should have a grand opening event, a ribbon breaking ceremony, and all of that. And so we created Kids Day in the Garden, and we worked with the UC Cooperative Extension, Prevent Child Abuse Council Calaveras, First Five Calaveras, and the Master Gardeners themselves. We all worked together, and we put on this big event for the grand opening. Well, it was such a success that we've done it ever since. In fact, last May, we probably had over 200 people. It's one of the biggest events in the garden, very popular.
That's awesome.
It's kind of like a gardening fair, I guess you would say. There's all kinds of gardening related activities. We have music. They usually plant things to take home, all kinds of things.
Cool.
And so this year we decided we would add another activity, and this is the one. It's called Family Harvest Day in the Garden. It's called Family Harvest Day because if you think about it, up here we don't plant much until Frog Jump, which is in May.
Right.
So in May, things are just getting planted. There's really nothing to pick.
True.
And so we thought it would be fun, you know, if we did something in the fall where
when there were things to pick.
When there were things, flowers and vegetables and fruit and what have you. And like last May, one of the activities that the kids did was to plant a pizza garden. And so they planted.
That sounds like my kind of garden.
Yeah, they planted one of the big beds with all the things that you would use for pizza. And each child has a marker with their name on it near the plant that they planted at that time. So this will give them an opportunity to come back, to visit their plant and see how well it's doing, and hopefully be able to pick something, harvest something.
Yeah.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to harvest those things. We're going to utilize the garden. We're going to harvest things not just in the pizza garden, but all over the garden to do the activities. We're going to have pizza on a cracker. And then another activity, we're always into healthy foods and what have you, and so we're going to have the kids do kind of a scavenger pick a veggie type thing where they go out and maybe they'll pick a tomato or maybe they'll pick a squash, and they'll bring it back and they'll be able to make salsa right there and then.
That is such a cute idea.
So, and it'll just be fun because there will be a lot of things that, you know, the kids will actually be able to see growing, and, you know, the bugs and the flowers and all that sort of thing.
How fun is it? And then you brought these little things here on the table. Are these little crafts that you're going to do with the kids?
Yes, we.
I have no idea what this is. What in the world?
This is, that's a mystery, right?
Oh, okay.
Can you guess?
These are little seeds in here, but what's the green, just so you know where they're at?
Yeah, and it kind of makes it fun. This is called seed tape, and you can actually purchase seed tapes, but they're kind of pricey. And why purchase them when you can make them yourself?
It's paper toweling.
It's paper toweling, and it's very hard sometimes to plant tiny seeds, you know, that you get them so close together and then you have to thin them, and especially for children. And so this they can do, we've put some thickened cornstarch and water.
Oh, I was going to ask you how that's staying closed. Okay.
And you put that cornstarch and water on there, and then you put the seeds, you know, the right distance. This one's kind of close, but and then you have it, and all you do is put it in the ground, put a little soil on it, water it, and of course the paper towel is going to disintegrate.
Yeah.
But your seeds will be spaced correctly, and makes it a little easier, not just for kids, but for adults. And these are going to be the kind of things that will grow in the winter. So like this happens to be kale. We'll also be doing like Swiss chard, lettuce, because we're getting ready for our fall and winter gardens. Because you know, by the time we have this event, it'll be time to start thinking of that.
You said that was cornstarch and water.
It's just cornstarch. Cornstarch and water. You heat it a little bit so that the cornstarch thickens, it thickens, so it's a little like glue. Sure. And then you can dispense it with either a glue, squeezy bottle, or mustard, or something like that.
Okay, this smells so good. Tell me about this.
That's called a Tussie Mussy. Those can be made with flowers, but we're going to be making it with herbs. There's many different kind of herbs in that.
Mint, rosemary.
There's rosemary, there's basil, there's oregano, there's lemon balm.
I want to wear it.
Yeah.
It smells so good.
Well, you know, the history behind those is way, way, way back when they weren't so good about sewers and things like that, and women are walking through town and it doesn't smell so good.
Right.
So you can take your Tussie Mussy and stick it under your nose and avoid all those unpleasant odors.
So when I go to certain parts of Stockton, I should take one.
Well,
I shouldn't have said that out loud, but it's true.
but now, like
awesome.
this too, one of the things that you can do with this, depending upon the kind of herbs you want to put in it, they will take something like that and you can hang it upside down and they will all dry.
Yeah.
But then you could also make herb bundles, which you would then swirl in your soup or in your stews or things like that to add extra flavoring without, you know, then having to remove, you know, each and every little leaf or stem.
Do you sell these?
We don't sell them. That's one of the things the kids are going to make.
Because that's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. A lot.
Good,
Okay.
I'm glad you do.
Now this.
You can guess who that's for.
So cute.
Yeah. Now,
that.
a lot of people make these for the birds, of course. It's just a toilet paper roll and bird seed. A lot of people do it with peanut butter, but because there are children out there and adults that are highly allergic to peanut butter.
True.
So we did the same thing. I made it a little thicker with just the cornstarch and water and spread it on there kind of like you would spread on the peanut butter and then roll it in the bird seed. So that way you know, anybody can do it. You don't have to worry about being allergic to
That is a good idea.
peanut butter or any nut that you might put on there.
Yeah. And then you just, is it easy for the birds to get these off of here, even with the...
Oh, they will get them.
Okay.
Because they love those.
Because they're so secure on there. They really are.
Yeah, you can feel
that's
that they're
definitely
not
wholesome.
falling off. And
Yeah.
you can hang it, and then the other thing that you can do is if you don't want to put the string on the top, you can just put that whole thing over a branch.
Right, okay.
And then the bird would just sit on the branch and peck
This
away.
way, just put the whole roll on it. That's a cute idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Now, I'm always, because I work for a nonprofit, I'm always thinking of volunteers, fundraisers, all of that sort of thing. Are there ever things that you guys need at your garden that people can donate to help you out with your work? Or do you guys pretty much get everything you need through these groups here?
Well, we do have people, a lot of people will donate, you know, when they go maybe to a nursery and buy a plant or buy a 6-pack of veggies or whatever. They will often stop by and drop off some of their pots, and we use those. We can take any donation, but now for these particular things, people could save their toilet paper rolls for us because we're going to need quite a few, and you know we'll be able to handle buying paper towels and what have you. But it takes a lot of toilet paper rolls for the number of kids that are going to do that activity.
Especially the number you're expecting.
Sure.
Well, very cool. Now we're almost out of time. I want to make sure we get the date in here. Saturday, September 6th, from 10 a.m. to noon.
Correct.
Over at the garden in San Andreas, near the courthouse, across from the senior center, that big garden over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so neat. And everything you guys are doing is free.
Everything's free. It's a great family event. The kids have fun. The parents have fun. They're outside. They're learning.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get them hooked on gardening. And they'll eat what they grow.
That's the best. That's the best. And is this the phone number? I should say this out loud in case anyone needs to call you for more information. 754-2880. Would it be you that they're asking for?
No,
As for Bev?
that's actually the phone number for the helpline desk.
Okay.
And so the number will go to the UC office. So whether anybody is there or not, they can leave a message, and then somebody will call them back.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys do some fun stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time on Tammy's Window on Calaveras. Cute stuff.
That went fast.